Gabe Polsky is the director of the documentary In Search of Greatness, which explores what makes the greatest athletes stand above the rest.
Everything slows down just a little bit. The way I visualized it, the way I dreamt about it, it happened that way.
This film takes a deep dive on some of the transcendent athletes of all time, asking Gabe what it is that separates these guys from the rest. So what is it that you found?
Well, it's a lot of things, and the film, basically takes us on a journey through kind of the eyes of the greatest athletes of all time. So I interviewed, Wayne Gretzky, Pelé, Jerry Rice, and some, really interesting thinkers like David Epstein, who wrote The Sports Gene, and a guy named Ken Robinson, who's one of the leaders in sort of creative education. And, it kind of takes the audience through a lot of things like psychology and philosophy and parenting and, genetics. I think every boy and girl has their own sort of variables, their own creative abilities. And I think everyone needs to, really find their own creative abilities, because that's what separates you from everybody else. That's your competitive advantage.
Kids start younger and younger. Their parents are getting them into these organized leagues. Do you think they lose that creativity? Do you think that we're going to lose a chance on having the next LeBron, the next Gretzky, the next Pelé?
We live in a society that's becoming more and more obsessed with greatness and who's going to be the next, again, Gretzky, LeBron, and sort of, it's now a really big industry, and kids start at a much younger age, and they're in these programs, and kids who have potential are often, put to the side, and we leave a lot on the table.
A lot of really interesting interviews, different perspectives in this documentary. One quality was their obsessiveness, this obsessive quality that made them great, but it translated into some quirks as well. Jerry Rice talking about how he always needed to have different shoes and very obsessed with fashion. What was like the funniest quirk that you saw?
Wayne Gretzky, he started telling me that he remembers every play of every game he's ever played in. I mean, it's like, it was mind-boggling. And I said to him, how could you, who else can do that? He says, oh, no, I know guys that can do that. These guys have such a passion and obsession. We all know successful people, and one trait that they all seem to have is this kind of manic obsessiveness with, perfection. And this film's not about sports, or, obviously it's through the eyes of the greatest athletes, but it's about life and success and what kind of things need to be there. And one of those things is just an insane passion for what you do. And we all know that, but that's the whole thing. You can't manufacture greatness without that passion for what you're doing. It's not possible.
That thing that you can't teach, that you're just born with.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting too how Gretzky also said that he had to get a little bit lucky, but it wasn't luck. So what is this balance of luck and being born with it, this nature nurture? What did you find there?
Well, that's the amazing thing about life is there is that sort of element that we can't control, and everyone's afraid of that, because we all work so hard at what we do, and we want to be great, but a lot of it's timing. And Gretzky himself acknowledges in all of these athletes that if they didn't have the right coaching at the right time, and maybe they would have been successful, but maybe not as much as they were, the right teammates. They want to take credit for their greatness and success, but at the same time, they do understand that it was an element of luck too, a lot of elements of luck.
When you were coming in here, you told me that this was a very personal movie for you. Why did you want to make this?
Well, I myself, I played pretty competitive sports. I played hockey, and I ended up playing Division I at Yale. But, I went through development programs and then Olympic development and so on. And you start to see, I did at a very young age, kind of just things that didn't seem right. I think sports are all about, fun. It's a game, and those players that are having the most fun are usually the best. Because it's a joy, and a lot of times coaches, lose sight of that's the primary thing in sports, and a lot of kids are kind of turned off by sports because it's not fun. These guys that are kind of rebellious and creative are the ones that basically reinvent their fields, because we want to see that moment of inspiration, or the you know, someone's innovative approach, or you know, some signs of creativity, the magic, that's the whole point. It makes the whole thing worth it, you know. But we have to encourage people to be creative and to create those magic flourishes, you know.
Looking for that moment of magic.
Yeah.
In Search of Greatness, a great film. Gabe Polsky, congratulations.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much.
for
I
joining us
appreciate it.
today. Appreciate it.